Have you ever wondered why women sometimes hold back or seem guarded in certain situations? Many women, no matter how confident they appear, have vulnerabilities they prefer to keep hidden. These aren't flaws. They're deeply personal fears or insecurities shaped by experiences, expectations, and emotions. Understanding these hidden aspects not only helps you connect with women on a deeper level, but also fosters empathy and respect. Let's uncover the 5 common weaknesses many women try to hide. 1. Fear of rejection. Rejection is one of the most universal fears, and for women it can be especially profound due to societal pressures and past experiences. While some may outwardly project confidence beneath the surface, many women grapple with the anxiety of not being accepted, whether it's in relationships, friendships, or professional settings. This fear often shapes how they present themselves and interact with others, creating a protective shield that can make them seem guarded or hesitant. Women who fear rejection may avoid initiating conversations or expressing their needs, especially in relationships. For instance, a woman might refrain from telling her partner how she truly feels about certain behaviors, worried that her honesty could push him away. In friendships, she might hesitate to confront issues or set boundaries, fearing that doing so could lead to being excluded or abandoned. Even in professional settings, she may hold back from sharing bold ideas or seeking leadership roles, unsure of how her contributions will be received. This fear often stems from early experiences where vulnerability led to pain, whether from childhood friendships, family dynamics, or romantic relationships. Over time, these experiences can create a pattern of self-protection where avoiding the risk of rejection becomes a priority over expressing one's true self. This can make a woman appear distant, indecisive, or overly agreeable, even when her inner feelings tell a different story. Understanding this vulnerability requires empathy and reassurance. For example, if a woman hesitates to open up about her feelings, it's crucial to create a safe, non-judgmental space where she feels heard and valued. A simple acknowledgement like, "I value what you're saying," or "your thoughts are important to me," can go a long way in easing her fears. Additionally, consistent actions that demonstrate reliability and support will help her gradually trust that rejection isn't an imminent threat in her relationship with you. It's also important to recognize the fine balance between reassuring her and becoming overly accommodating. A fear of rejection doesn't mean she's fragile. It simply means she's human. By treating her with kindness and respect while encouraging her to step outside her comfort zone, you can help her build confidence in expressing herself authentically, free from the shadow of rejection. Ultimately, overcoming the fear of rejection isn't about erasing it, but learning to navigate it with courage. When you approach this fear with understanding and care, you create a foundation for deeper, more meaningful connections, allowing her to feel secure in showing her true self. 2. Insecurities about appearance. No matter how confident a woman may seem, insecurities about appearance often linger beneath the surface. In a world saturated with unrealistic beauty standards, comparison can become an unavoidable trap. Social media, advertisements, and cultural expectations constantly highlight unattainable ideals, making even the most self-assured women question their looks. These insecurities may not always be voiced, but can manifest in subtle ways, from avoiding certain outfits to overanalyzing photographs. A woman might feel self-conscious about something as small as a blemish or as significant as her body shape. These concerns aren't superficial. They're deeply ingrained through years of societal conditioning. For many women, appearance is tied to self-worth, not because they are vain, but because society has long equated beauty with value. This can lead to overcompensating through excessive grooming, seeking validation, or even avoiding situations where they feel their insecurities might be noticed. It's important to remember that these feelings often have little to do with how others see her. A woman who doubts her appearance might receive countless compliments, yet still feel inadequate. Why? Because her internal dialogue can often be harsher than any external criticism. She may silently compare herself to other women, believing she falls short even when those comparisons are unwarranted. Recognizing and addressing this vulnerability requires sensitivity. Avoid making offhand comments about her appearance, even in jest, as they might unintentionally deepen her insecurities. Instead, focus on sincere compliments that emphasize more than just physical beauty. For instance, saying, "You have a beautiful smile," and it lights up the room, is more meaningful than simply remarking on an outfit. Compliments about her personality or talents, like her intelligence, humor, or resilience, can also help shift the focus from external validation to internal confidence. However, it's equally important to support her in feeling good about herself without making her insecurities the center of attention. For example, if she's feeling uncertain about her appearance before an event, a simple, "You look amazing, and I can't wait to show you off," can offer reassurance without making it seem like her looks are all that matter. True support comes from fostering an environment where she feels seen for who she is rather than how she looks. Encourage her to embrace her unique features and remind her that flaws don't define beauty, they add character. When a woman feels valued beyond her appearance, it creates a deeper sense of self-acceptance and confidence. Over time, she can begin to see herself through a kinder lens, feeling more secure in the love and admiration you offer. 3. Struggles with self-worth. Behind even the most confident woman lies an ongoing battle with self-worth. Society places immense pressure on women to excel in various roles, whether it's as a professional, a partner, a friend, or a caregiver. These expectations can sometimes make her feel as though she's never quite enough. While this vulnerability is rarely voiced outright, it often manifests in subtle behaviors, such as seeking validation, over-apologizing, or being overly critical of herself. A woman who struggles with self-worth may second-guess her decisions, feel unworthy of success, or doubt the sincerity of compliments. For example, she might dismiss achievements as luck rather than skill, or brush off kind words as mere politeness. This inner voice of doubt, shaped by years of societal, cultural, or even familial influences, can be difficult to silence. What makes self-worth such a sensitive topic is that it's deeply tied to personal identity. A woman might feel she has to prove her value by being perfect, whether through her career, relationships, or physical appearance. When she perceives any shortcoming, real or imagined, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, even if those around her see nothing but her strengths. Understanding and addressing this hidden struggle requires patience and empathy. Rather than attempting to fix her feelings, focus on creating an environment where she feels appreciated for who she is, not just for what she does. Small affirmations like, "I admire your dedication to your work," or "You inspire me with how thoughtful you are," can go a long way in reinforcing her sense of value. It's also essential to avoid statements that may inadvertently feed her self-doubt. For instance, comparisons to others, even when meant as encouragement, can do more harm than good. Saying, "You're doing better than most people in your field," may unintentionally frame her worth as relative to others rather than intrinsic to her own efforts. Instead, opt for affirmations like, "Your hard work is truly paying off, and I'm proud of everything you've accomplished." Moreover, encourage her to celebrate her strengths and achievements without attaching them to external validation. Whether it's acknowledging a promotion, a personal project, or her kindness toward others, help her see the value in what she brings to the world. By doing so, you empower her to build self-worth from within rather than relying on others' approval. Ultimately, the key to supporting a woman who struggles with self-worth lies in recognizing that her vulnerability doesn't make her weak, it makes her human. By showing consistent kindness, genuine encouragement, and unwavering respect, you can help her see the extraordinary person she truly is. Over time, this kind of support can help her silence the inner critic and embrace a more confident, self-assured version of herself. 4. Emotional vulnerability. Emotional vulnerability is a deeply human experience, but it's one that many women strive to conceal. This doesn't stem from a lack of emotions. Quite the opposite. Women often feel emotions deeply and profoundly, but society has conditioned many to see vulnerability as a weakness rather than a strength. Because of this, a woman may build emotional walls to protect herself, making it difficult for others to truly understand what's going on beneath the surface. When a woman hides her emotional vulnerability, it can manifest in different ways. She might appear overly strong or independent, as if she doesn't need anyone's help or support. On the outside, she may seem unshakable, but internally she might be grappling with fears, insecurities, or unresolved pain. For example, she might hesitate to share her feelings about a stressful situation at work or avoid discussing a past relationship that left her hurt. This guardedness often comes from a fear of being judged, misunderstood, or worse, rejected. Opening up emotionally requires a great deal of trust, and for many women, the risk of showing their true feelings can seem greater than the reward. They may worry that their emotional openness could be used against them or dismissed as overly dramatic or irrational. However, beneath this exterior is often a desire to connect deeply with someone who will value their true self, emotions and all. A woman hiding her emotional vulnerability isn't seeking to shut others out, but to protect herself from potential harm. When she does open up, it's a sign of deep trust and an indication that she feels safe in the relationship. If you recognize that a woman is shielding her emotions, the best way to support her is by creating an environment where she feels safe to express herself without fear of judgment. Patience is crucial. Rushing her to open up might make her retreat further. Instead, focus on listening without interrupting or trying to solve her problems immediately. Simple affirmations like, "I hear you and I'm here for you," can provide the reassurance she needs. It's also essential to show emotional vulnerability yourself. By sharing your feelings and experiences, you create a reciprocal space of trust and understanding. This signals to her that emotions are not a burden, but a bridge that can strengthen the bond between two people. Avoid dismissive responses or platitudes when she does open up. Statements like, "It's not a big deal," or "You're overthinking it," can reinforce her fears of being misunderstood. Instead, validate her feelings with responses such as, "That sounds really tough. Thank you for sharing it with me." Over time, as she begins to trust that her emotions are safe with you, she'll feel more comfortable sharing her true self. This openness is a foundation for deeper connections and allows her to experience the kind of emotional intimacy that she might secretly long for. Ultimately, acknowledging and respecting a woman's emotional vulnerability is not only an act of kindness, but a powerful way to deepen the relationship. It shows her that she doesn't need to hide her true self to be valued, which is a profound gift in a world that often encourages people to mask their feelings. 5. Fear of losing independence. For many women, independence is a cornerstone of their identity. It represents strength, self-sufficiency, and the ability to navigate life on their own terms. However, this independence is often accompanied by a subtle yet significant fear: the fear of losing it. This concern becomes particularly pronounced in relationships, where emotional closeness can sometimes blur the boundaries of individuality. This fear doesn't mean that a woman doesn't want to connect or commit. In fact, it's often the opposite. She may deeply value the relationship, but worry that becoming too entwined with someone else might compromise her sense of self. For example, she might hesitate to accept help or share responsibilities, not because she doesn't trust you, but because she fears becoming overly reliant or losing her autonomy. The roots of this fear can vary. Some women may have faced past relationships where their independence was stifled, leaving them feeling controlled or undervalued. Others may have grown up in environments where they were encouraged to be self-reliant, instilling in them a strong desire to prove their capability to the world. In both cases, independence becomes a shield, protecting them from vulnerability or loss of control. In a relationship, this fear might manifest as reluctance to share certain aspects of her life, such as financial decisions, personal goals, or even time. She might insist on maintaining her routines, hobbies, or friendships, even if it means occasionally creating distance. While these behaviors might seem like resistance, they're often an attempt to preserve her identity within the relationship. To support a woman who values her independence, it's important to strike a balance between connection and respect for her individuality. Reassure her that being in a partnership doesn't mean losing herself. It means having someone who supports her journey while walking alongside her. Celebrate her ambitions and encourage her to pursue her goals, even if they don't always align with your own. Avoid behaviors that could inadvertently trigger her fear. For instance, being overly possessive, questioning her choices, or pressuring her to spend all her time with you can make her feel confined. Instead, show her that you value her independence as much as she does. Respect her boundaries and give her the space she needs to thrive. One of the most effective ways to ease this fear is by fostering mutual independence. When you demonstrate that you also have your own goals, hobbies, and friendships, it reassures her that the relationship is built on equal footing. This mutual respect creates a sense of security, showing her that being together doesn't mean losing autonomy. It means building a partnership where both individuals can grow. It's also crucial to communicate openly about her feelings. If she expresses concerns about losing her independence, listen without judgment. Validate her perspective and let her know that you understand how important it is to her. Use phrases like, "I admire how strong and independent you are. It's one of the things I love about you," to affirm her value. Ultimately, the fear of losing independence is not about pushing others away. It's about wanting to maintain balance. When you respect and celebrate her individuality, you show her that being with you doesn't mean giving up who she is. Instead, it becomes a relationship where two strong, independent people can come together. Not out of necessity, but out of mutual respect, love, and shared growth.